What's going on, people? You already know what it is. It's your boy Tunchi. This is Y.B.E.T.V. Today, I want to talk to you guys about trip planning. Trip planning is like one of the primary necessities of being successful in trucking. One of the things I say is a lot of people say you should trip plan at about 50 miles per hour. And that's what I normally go with. So however many miles you got, you divide that by 50. So let's just say, of course, if you get 200 miles, you say, okay, to get 200 miles, it's going to take me 4 hours. Now, I always give myself, depending on if I got to stop, if I got to fuel, if I'm like, okay, I'm drinking a lot of water, or, I'm drinking some juice from the juicer, so I might have to use the bathroom. If I want to, eat outside the truck, meaning like if I want to stop at a Subway or, whatever, and get me something to eat, always add that time in, so you definitely can add that in. You can say, okay, well, I'm going this route. I'm used to this route. It ain't really never nobody at this pilot. There's always an open bay. They got so many bays to fuel at. So I know I could get about 100 gallons in 15, 17 minutes, give or take. Maybe 20, give myself 20 minutes extra and add that on. So I got to stop for fuel. So that's 4 hours and 20 minutes because I got to stop for fuel. Plus, I might say, okay, you know what? Let's stop and go traffic here. There. I say 2 hours and 30 minutes, give myself a little leeway. Now, sometimes it gets tricky when you're saying something like, okay, I got 167 miles. So you say, okay. Now, the 150, you take that off the top. You say, okay, that's 3 hours. 3 hours off the top. Now, the 17 miles can be a little tricky because it might be, if you're going through towns, you definitely need to trip plan that. So it's like, okay. So I got the 17 miles. I got to go through town. That 17 miles is going to take me clearly like 30 minutes, give or take. So it's like, okay, so now you had 3 hours and 30 minutes for 167 miles. As long as you ain't got no stops and you're going to push straight through it, you can do it like that. What I'm saying is, when you're doing an ETA, always give yourself more cushion. And sometimes what I do is, whatever I come up with, I add an extra 10 to 15 minutes to that. And it's better to push your ETAs out. For the people that don't know what an ETA is, it's basically the estimated time of arrival. Which means that, like, okay, I'm saying my ETA to my next stop is 212 miles. I'm like, okay, that's 4 hours plus the other 12 miles. Give or take, I give myself 20 minutes to do that. I just do it off the top of my head, round ballpark estimates. Okay, I got to stop to get some fuel. I give myself another 20 minutes. So that's 2 hours and 40 minutes. So I'm hitting my dispatcher, hey, I can go to the next stop about 2 hours and 40 minutes. They're like, oh, okay, cool. They tell the shipper, receiver, 2 hours and 40 minutes. I make it there in 2 hours and 15 minutes. I'm always on the other side of it. Now, sometimes you might get a dispatcher that's like, hey, it's a tight load. You got to get there. You saying you need 2 hours and 40 minutes. We need you to be there in 2 hours and 15 minutes. You like, look, put it out at 2 hours and 40 minutes. I just got from this stop. I was held up or whatever. Or, this, and this. I don't know if I'm going to hit no traffic. So I'm going to shoot for 2:15, of course. I'm gonna shoot for 2:05, but just put me a little cushion to 2:40. Okay, well, just try to get there as soon as you can. Call me when you get there. No problem. So let's say you make it there 2 hours and 25 minutes. You're like, hey, they be like, what happened? Why was you late? You seen I went from stop to stop, right? And sometimes you got to be firm with the dispatcher when you're doing these ETAs and let them know, like, look, I didn't stop one time. Do you want me to run through cars? Do you want me to run stop signs? Do you want me to speed? If not, I got there as fast as I possibly could. I was on time to my first stop. I made it to my second stop without stopping. So what is it that I can do? I had to follow the speed limits. I couldn't drive through cars. And I can't make this thing turn into a spaceship. So you're just going to have to accept 225. Have a great day, dispatcher. You got to be firm sometime because, like, sometimes the dispatcher forget that you and the truck are only capable of so much. And you got to remember, you got to definitely, I'm going to do one about dispatchers and kind of letting them know and standing your ground. Like, you definitely have to stand your ground with dispatchers sometimes. Let them know, listen, I'm human. Like, I'm going to give you a piece of the next one about dispatchers. One thing about dispatchers that I really, really do hate is, like, They might, when you take time off as an owner operator, they might say, well, you know, you taking all this time off? And you be like, stop right there. You work 8 hours a day, which means you get 16 hours off for yourself and your family. Also, you get paid vacations, you get paid sick days, you get sick leave, you get all these different things, not to mention medical. Now you get to spend, if your son Jimmy has a play that you need to be at, you call in, hey, got a personal day next week, gonna be Monday, Tristan got to play. Nothing else to be said, no problem. You go on about your day, right? But if I say the same thing, number one, I lose pay. I have to take a full day's loss of pay. Number two is, I got to hear you saying something about it because you expect me to be a machine. So listen, if that's what you expected, that's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to see my sons play. Have a great day. You have a good day too. You already know it's your boy Tunchi. And if you don't want to end up in the box, think outside of it. Y.B.E.T.V.